Don't go anywhere. It's still me. The background has changed. I have finally been able to get out of my bathroom to film, which is awesome. And you know, for everybody who's been asking me if I've been filming in my shower, of course not. There's a chandelier over my head. You can't put a chandelier in a shower. It was my tub. Anyway, I am trying out a new area for filming, and so, you know, let's see how this all goes. Before we get too far into things you don't really care about, hello, I'm Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things. And sometimes we make the not soapy things. And today is one of those days. Today we are making a body butter. Now, this was requested from a couple people all the time, nonstop, because I hate making body butter. But it is something that is requested all of the time. So I decided, yeah, I will go ahead and make some body butter for the summer line, and you get to watch one of them in action. Now, one of the reasons I hate making body butter is because it actually is quite a time suck. It is a labor of love for sure. And you know, you spend, I don't know, probably close to 2 hours when it's all said and done making the things and doing all of it. And that's a lot for me. So that's one of the reasons why I don't make a lot of body butter. Now, this particular recipe is an amazing body butter because it's not just a regular body butter, it is a whipped body butter. So the texture and the consistency of it is lighter than air. It's beautiful, has these beautiful pockets of, it's delightful. It glides onto the skin without effort, and it makes you, you know, super moisturized and feeling great all day long. And I do love it. I just don't love making it, but we're gonna go watch me make it, and you can see how that's done right now. Okay, so body butter's not my most favorite thing to make, and that is really because you have to melt all these oils down and butters, and then let them like hold at heat for a really long time. And what I have here is the shea butter, which I put into the crock pot to melt down. And then I'm going to add the oils. And for this particular blend, I am using avocado oil as well as apricot oil. Now, apricot is really good for the lightweight but deep penetration, and olive oil is going to really up the awesome moisture of the shea. And it's going to sit at heat for around 20 minutes, and then we are going to whip it up. And now we are on to the whipping process. Now, after it has sat at heat for 20 minutes, to really get rid of the graininess of the shea, and I've done it without letting it sit at heat and really holding it at a temperature for 20 minutes, and it gets grainy. No matter what you do, it gets grainy. So yeah, you do that step. I learned from my mistakes. Just do the step. And after I have melted everything down, let it sit, I then put it in the, you know, container for the KitchenAid, and I put it in the refrigerator and let it cool down. And then I start the whipping process. And you know me with my finger there, I'm actually talking about how my KitchenAid used to be dark green and is very, very old. This KitchenAid was actually 10 years old before it came to me, and I bought it from a friend for like 50 bucks and then spray painted it. And with all the use in the shop, it's showing its wear. It's not nearly as pretty as it used to be after I had taken, you know, a rattle can to it. But the whipping process is long and arduous, and there are many steps with this whipping process. Now, this is going to be the really big key with getting a really good, like, sort of aerated whipped body butter, is going to be this whip. And there will be multiple stages of this. This is one of the reasons why I hate making body butters, because the KitchenAid is going for a long time, probably 30 minutes in total, of just whipping the cooled butters and oils, you know, together to do their thing. It's a lot. And I've sped the entire process up for you so you actually don't get to experience the pain. But every once in a while, just like, you know, when you're baking, you want to scrape everything down to make sure that the bottom portion there is getting fully incorporated and whipped in. And you see how we have some still solid chunks there along the sides. So I am breaking that down, putting it into the rest of the mixture so we can continue the whipping. And, you know, it looks great. It looks like frosting right now. It's something that, you know, is super, you want to eat that. And I guess in this stage it is completely edible. Why you would want to eat butter, I don't know, but you can do that. And this stage right here is going to really, the biggest thing with a whipped body butter, or with any body butter, is going to be really getting as much air to it as possible, whipping in as much air as you possibly can. And once it's at this nice, you know, frosting consistency, you're going to put in your scent blend. And this scent blend is actually a combination of a peach and a vanilla, because one of the Soapprentices that we have not seen in a million years, she was all, you know, locked up with her parents during the COVID thing, and then, you know, she came back and it was awesome, and she was asking about the body butters, and I decided to make this for her, and she got to pick the scent blend. So we have a peach going on as well as a vanilla bean, because that was the thing that actually brought her to my shop in the first place, was my vanilla bean, you know, whipped body butter. And then every time she would ask about making it, I'd be like, oh, I don't know, we don't make soap. But, you know, I'm making it for her because, yay, she's back and we've missed her. And what I just put into the KitchenAid there, into the mixer, is I put in a couple tablespoons of tapioca powder. Now, the tapioca powder is also going to aid in the making sure it's a really nice, lightweight, fluffy consistency, but also help out with the wicking away of any excess moisture, so none of this is greasy on your skin. So that's definitely a step that you do not want to skip. Now, this was getting a little bit too loose, essentially. The body butter was heating up, and so I put it back in the fridge to cool it down a little bit before doing the final whip. And the reason for that is I don't want this to be too, well, I don't want it to really melt at this point, because we have one more stage of the tapioca going into it, and I want to make sure that it's really cool in order to really create the nice whipped consistency. It's very airy. It's a very lovely body butter, but again, the whipping is going to be the key with all of this to create a really beautiful, lightweight consistency that's very, you know, again, the moisture penetrates deeply, it's very long lasting, it's absolutely delightful, but the devil is in the details, so to speak, and that detail is the continued whipping. And this is not something that I'm really good at, because I don't have a lot of patience for it. I'm the same way with I'm frustrated, like, oh my gosh, it's too much. And I'm the same way when it comes to actually whipping frosting or anything in the baking world. Like, oh yeah, no, a good mix, it's good enough, 30 seconds, we're good. No, you have to keep whipping. That is the most important part of all of this. And
now if you look at that, that's a good like cream cheese frosting consistency. That's what you are going for here. Nice and thick. It will stand up on its own. The tapioca definitely helps out in that endeavor. And it is ready to package. And as it continues to, you know, sort of warm up, whereas, you know, it's weird because usually, you know, with most of my products, it's cool down, but warm up, it will create this really beautiful texture to it all. So it's very lightweight, but incredibly, you know, it's luxurious. The extra whip with all of this is, it is in fact a luxurious experience. And so I get why the prodigal Soapprentice loves this so much. I do. I understand it because it is a nice experience to use. It's just, this whole thing is time consuming. I have chopped down so much of this video because it's a short video. Really, there's not a lot going on as far as, you know, time goes, but I sped everything up and I, you know, did not show you the cool times and all of that, just to make this one little batch of, and this is a teeny tiny batch of body butter. This was 3 hours of my day, so it's kind of a lot, but you know, that's okay. It's, again, we talked about labor of love. This is definitely one of them, and I am, you know, doing this because I love the OG Soapprentice, really, and I'm so glad that she was existing in our shop at this exact moment as we were making the body butters, because she'd been gone forever, and, you know, hanging out with her parents and doing the social distancing thing, and yay, she's back, she exists, and so we're making her some body butter. But yeah, so at this point it is ready to go. The cool thing about body butter is that you can, you know, use it right away, whereas with soap you're letting it cure and you're letting it do its thing, you know, whatever. With body butter, as soon as you get it to this point, you can use it right now, and that's awesome. And I'm going to show you how, you know, it looks and works and performs, you know, right now, because that's what we do when we have products that can be used right away. You do not have to do a straight shea butter for your body butters. I did it for this because it's a nice easy recipe that, you know, anybody can kind of do, and so that's good. And a few ingredients, very simple, but it's all about, you know, again, it's the chemical process here. It's how you're manipulating the ingredients and what you are doing to them and sort of forcing them into different, you know, states to make them work really well. And that's really going to be important with something like this. And again, this guy, I hate making it, but the actual performance of it, it's super great. It's so luxurious. It just glides onto the skin like nobody's business, and it feels great. It looks great. It's delightful.
And there you have it, the whipped body butter. Now, this particular blend, this was actually a peach and a vanilla bean, and the reason why I made this is because one of my Soapprentices, who we did not see throughout all of COVID, was in the shop the day that I was making this, and she loves my whipped body butters, and she's always asking to make a batch or if I can, and I always put it way far down the list and then we never get to it. And I was so happy to see her that, you know, my little heart melted, and I went, I will do anything for you. And she picked the scent. So that's what this one is. Now, we actually do have 4 scent varieties for the summer line. So we have this one, a lilac, a proper vanilla bean, and a mango, and they're all available on the website at soapandplay.com. Now, if you are interested in following me on social media, you can totally do the things. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you are interested in more soapy antics, or, you know, body butter antics, or bath bomb, lotion, scrub things, we're doing this every single day, and we have lots and lots of content available, and I like to impart all of my soapy knowledge, you know, to the interwebs as it comes up. So definitely subscribe to the channel and stick around for the awesome. And also, you know, the subscribing thing is going to get us one step closer to 500 subscribers, and when we do that, we're going to be doing a soapy giveaway with $500 worth of product, which is a lot of product. But so yeah, subscribe, do the thing. That would make me happy. Anyway, that does do it for me today. Thank you so much for joining us for another round of 365 Days of Soap, and I will see you tomorrow.